Welcome back, everybody. Notice that I have Invisalign on my teeth. It's something a little bit different since the last time I was on here, but this is a function thing for me. I know I can appear that I have the perfect smile, but right now I have some teeth that are starting to rotate and shift, so that's the reason why I decided to do this. I'll probably have these on for about 6 months. Yeah, it's a function thing for me, not a cosmetic thing, so I'm trying to get my bite corrected so in about 5 years I don't have some major dental problems. So that's that, so bear with me as I speak through this and all of that jazz. Today we're going to talk about whitening. So it's a big hot topic. I've gotten a lot of comments about my teeth and how white they are, so I figured what the hell's the point of waiting? Let's just dive in and talk about whitening. So whitening is exactly what it says it is. It's whitening your teeth. The generic term would be bleaching your teeth, but you're not actually putting bleach in your mouth to whiten your teeth because that is super toxic and you wouldn't do it. Instead, there are two different types of solutions. They're all a gel-based solution, but they either have hydrogen peroxide or carbamide peroxide in the base of the whitening solution. And what that actually does is it penetrates the enamel, which is the outermost layer of your tooth, all the way underneath the enamel into the dentin. It causes like an oxidizing process, a little chemical reaction that lifts the stain off of that dentin, and then your teeth appear whiter from the inside out. It would seem that they're white from the outside in, but actually they're whiter, lighter from the inside out. There's a lot to break down with whitening. So where I'm going to start is the difference between internal stain and external stain. Internal stain is the color of our tooth from the inside out. That is the natural color of our tooth. Whether we're born with it or as we age, our teeth darken, and what happens to our teeth over time if someone would never whiten their teeth, what they would look like by the time they're like 95. And I'm going to plug in a little video that I recorded about 3 years ago that describes the shade guide, and it's going to describe a couple other things that it's going to be repetitive on here, so forgive me for that, but I just want to plug this in so you guys can see what the shade guide is at a dental office, what we use to gauge the color of your tooth. Some of it will be repetitive because I'm going to repeat what I said 3 years ago on this video. So intrinsic staining, color of the tooth, that's exactly what it is the color of your tooth. Don't mind my eye, it's a little red, we just cut off a skin tag, so just ignore that part. So the color of your tooth, you can have white teeth, you can have dark teeth, you can have translucent teeth where there's a lot of light that passes through your teeth, or you can have opaqueness to your teeth where you don't have a lot of light pass through your teeth. So this is the shade, guys, as promised. As you can see, this is the whitest white. This is pretty much the darkest on the shade guide. So this is pretty opaque. I mean, here's A1, I think that's A1, yeah. So that's white. And then you can see the different shades of A1. It goes to B, C's and D's. I don't even know because I don't use this ever. But we do this in bleaching. If you were to bleach your teeth, and let's say you started here, we're going to try to bleach you up to this shade, which again, we're going to talk about whitening later. But this is the point where when you look at your two front teeth, they're the whitest, lightest appearance of the teeth. As you go back further and further to the back of your mouth, your teeth appear darker, even though they might all be the same shade. Like my back teeth are this shade, A1, because I've bleached my teeth, but you don't know that because your mouth curves and the light hits the teeth differently on the corner versus the dead center. So you get the most light dead center. As you're traveling back, things get darker and appear darker. So the big pointy teeth, the eye teeth, the canine teeth on the side, those are big, thick, long teeth. It's the longest tooth in your head. They always appear darker because they're big, hunky teeth. So, like I said, translucency, a lot of light passed through your teeth where the edges of the teeth could look a little bit gray because light's passing through that. Opaqueness, you just have thick, solid looking teeth. They're just a solid color. Now, a couple of things where people have gray teeth. One can be caused from trauma. If you get hit in the mouth, in the tooth, your tooth, the inside of the tooth, the nerve of your tooth, if it dies, it becomes gray. If you do absolutely nothing about it, the tooth will turn black. It's because there's dead necrotic tissue inside the tooth and it's bleeding into the tooth, dying, it's dead. And then another reason that people have gray teeth is tetracycline staining. That happens in infancy, if not in the womb. So if you have a high fever as a child, if the mother takes tetracycline, if a baby has tetracycline in an infant stage, it stains and changes the color of the enamel forming when your teeth are forming in the jaw. So there are little buds in there when you're an infant. That alters the formation of the enamel in the dentin, and it gives you a gray teeth. I've seen one or two people in my entire 17 years of doing this that has whitened their teeth from tetracycline staining. It took them a total of 6 months to whiten, but they were able to whiten the grayness out of their teeth. Not 100%, but enough that you didn't know they had tetracycline staining. So those are the main things that I want you guys to understand. This is intrinsic. This is the color from the inside of your tooth out. This is what can change over time. Your teeth are porous. They absorb things. So over time, all of our teeth will darken if you do nothing about it, and that's okay if you don't care. So that's it, and we'll get to extrinsic later. Here's the gist of the shade guide. So we use that shade guide to determine if you needed to get a crown or a veneer or a bridge or an implant crown. That's what we look at, and that's also what we look at, as I stated, as to where you would start if a dental office was monitoring your shade. So you could be the darkest shade, which would be in the D's, or you could be up in the lighter shades, which would be in the A's. So now, like I said, I know a lot of people have talked about my teeth, but you have to realize too that I'm sitting in the brightest room in my house. I get a ton of natural light in this room. A lot of it's direct sunlight. Natural light, your teeth always look lighter. When you're in a dark bathroom or you're under fluorescent light or LED light or in the dental office under that light, I mean the overhead light or the light off of our loops that we wear, all of that changes color. So it's the shadowing where the light hits the front teeth first, and then as you go back it gets darker, just because the curving of the mouth and the light doesn't hit the back teeth the same as it does the front teeth. So all of those things go into a factor of the color of your tooth, which would be the internal color. The external color of your tooth, or external stain on the teeth, I should say, is a brown or black stain that accumulates on the outside of the tooth, which would be the outside of the enamel. I'll show you a picture of it here also. So you can see the difference. The one tooth has brown stain around it, and the other tooth I had cleaned off. Brown stain accumulates from coffee, tea, red wine, cigarettes, cigars, pipe smoking, marijuana smoking, soda, and fruit juice. All of those things can create brown external stain on your teeth that is nearly impossible for you to get off at home, and it's what we remove at the dental office. It usually builds around the outside of the tooth and in between them. It kind of follows the gum line. Why, I have no idea, but it gets in between too, and I just think that's just because in between is where the teeth curve, where they touch each other. The bristles of your toothbrush don't get in there, and if you're not a great brusher, you're going to have more stain accumulate because you're not brushing your teeth as often or as long as you're supposed to. If you drink 1 cup of coffee a day, that's not going to stain your teeth. That's really not going to do damage. I drink 1 cup of coffee a day. That doesn't really stain my teeth. I didn't whiten my teeth till I was 25 years old. If you only drink 1 cup of coffee, you're not a smoker, red wine drinker, none of those things like I'm not, you're not going to have a lot of stain accumulate on your teeth. So right now I only whiten my teeth maybe once a year, maybe once every 2 years. You drink lots of tea, black tea, green tea, iced tea, it doesn't matter, tea in general. You'll get more stain built on your teeth. If you overuse mouthwash, and I mean like 2 to 3 times a day, and you're rinsing way more than 30 seconds, you're going to have an accumulation of brown stain on your teeth. And that's a whole nother video to unpack, which I'm working on doing that. But red wine is a big stain causing thing. Cigarettes. So if you're a cigarette smoker and you drink about a pot of coffee a day, you're going to have stain on your teeth. If you smoke cigars, you're going to have stain on your teeth. If you chew tobacco, you're going to have stain on your teeth. If you drink a ton of soda or a ton of fruit juice, you're going to have stain on your teeth. So those are things to consider, and that outside stain does soak in through the tooth, and it will stain the tooth from the inside out. So if you go to the dentist and you have a ton of brown stain on your teeth, you get your teeth clean, you're like, oh, my teeth are whiter. Well, yeah, because we took all the brown stain off, plus some of that shadowing goes away because the brown stain, you know, it attracts light and it'll look dark, and then all of a sudden it's lighter, so your teeth look whiter. And the same thing goes if you're not a good brusher. Our teenagers are the culprits of this because are terrible at brushing their teeth, and not to pick on any of them, but they brush maybe once a day, maybe once every couple days. Who knows? Teenagers are teenagers. I was one once at one point in time, and I sucked at brushing my teeth as a kid, so I know about it. That plaque accumulates, and it's soft and it's yellow and it's sticky. And if you don't brush it off, it makes your teeth look darker. So your teeth will look more yellow if you have more plaque on your teeth that's soft and sticky that you can remove. If you build a ton of tartar buildup, you're going to have more of a yellow stain in appearance to your teeth because that tartar buildup is yellowish in color. It can be like a pale white to a yellow to a dark yellow, and sometimes it's even black or brown, but that you don't really see that. That's under the gum tissue if it's really bad. The color of your gum tissue is going to contrast with your tooth. So to me, the redder your gum tissues and more inflamed and infected they are and more bleeding that you have, the dingier your teeth look because you have this massive infection. So it doesn't really make your teeth look whiter. It makes them look just sick. They just look sick to me. That's the only way I can describe it. Like they're under the weather, because they really are. But if you have super pink gums and they're super healthy, a lot of people have white teeth that go along with it just because their mouth is really healthy. You have to understand from a hygienist perspective, I could care less if your teeth are purple or green like my plants behind me, because I care that you have healthy gums. I care about no bleeding. I care about pink healthy tissue. I care about your home care habits and what you're doing at home and how often you're coming in to get your teeth cleaned and everything in between. That's what matters, because if you don't have a good foundation, you don't have healthy gums, you don't have healthy bone, you know, everything. If everything's diseased and your teeth are on the verge of falling out, well, who gives a shit how white they are, because you're about to lose them because you don't take care of them. If you take good care of them and they're super healthy, but yeah, they're not the whitest on the planet, nobody gives a shit, because no hygienist gives a shit and no dentist does, because we don't care about that. We care that they're healthy. That's what's important. They're healthy. So it just depends on you and your personal preference as to what you want for you. Bottom line. And like I said, I know for me, I do mine. I'm in the profession. When I moved to Las Vegas, that's when it was like 2005-ish, and whitening was taken off and cosmetics were taken off and the appearance of teeth was really important. So that's when I whitened my teeth, you know. And I had one dark tooth, which would have been this one. It was forced eruption. So when I had braces in my teenage years, they had to cut my gums and expose this canine because it was not coming in on its own. I had to wear a rubber band and pull it into place. That's called forced eruption because it wasn't going to come in on its own. And just because of that, that tooth was darker when it came in. Which puts me to my other point where I went back talking about the trauma to teeth. You know, that's another internal part of the tooth of trauma. Trauma causes the teeth to become dark if the nerve inside the tooth is dead. Which ironically, this tooth, after, oh my gosh, I don't even know how many years, it doesn't matter, but I had it would bother me on and off. It would tingle, it would hurt, all this stuff, and I finally had an endodontist looked at it, and then I ended up doing a root canal because the nerve was dead, and I said it was forced eruption. He's like, oh yeah, this happened. So we just root canaled it, and I think ever since then, that's actually, when I whitened it, the tooth actually got lighter. So it's like I took the dead necrotic tissue out of it, and the tooth got lighter because I bleached it, and it never bothers me anymore. I think that covers all of that. Frank's here. I'm trying to keep him quiet. So the major risks are sensitivity. That's number one. You could burn your gums, or you can over whiten. Those are basically the three main things that can happen from whitening your teeth. You have a tray system, and you overload the trays, and you put the trays in, and the bleach oozes over the top. You're going to burn your gums because it's a peroxide-based solution sitting on your gum tissue. It's going to burn within the first 10 to 20 seconds. You're going to know it. It's going to hurt like hell, and you're going to need to take that tray out, clean the tray off, wipe it all off your gums, and then put it back in. Maybe reload it a little bit and put it back in. So this is why when you have a tray system, you only use the size of the whitening gel needs to be the size of an uncooked grain of rice. So it's a really tiny amount. You don't need to overload it. Whitening strip, if you put them on and you lay it on your gum tissue, same thing, it's going to burn your gum tissue. That's just what happens. The reason the sensitivity happens is because you're opening up all the pores. Just like I said, that whitening solution is opening all the pores up. It's going down through the enamel to the dentin to whiten the dentin, which is the underlying layer of your tooth that you never see. It's the second layer, it's on the inside. So 24 to 48 hours after you're done bleaching, all those pores close back up and the sensitivity goes away. But if you experience sensitivity, I would encourage you to either use Sensodyne or Tom's of Maine Rapid Relief Sensitive. start using it 2 to 3 days before you start whitening. Use it the whole time while you're whitening, and then 2 to 3 days after you're done whitening. And then stop using it. And it should work really, really well for you. And just calming the sensitivity down some. It's not going to get rid of it 100%, but it'll calm it down just a little bit. That might be tolerable for you. Because when I say sensitive, I mean you could breathe, or you could just talk, and your teeth will hurt. You can get little zingers on them. Cold drinks, hot drinks, all that stuff can hurt. It's just a super common side effect. It's just what happens. And some of the solutions now have fluoride in it to try to calm the sensitivity down. But everybody's different. But most people, that's the only major side effect that they have. And then when you go to over whitening, what happens is your teeth could become translucent. So you could whiten too much, that you have too much light passing through your teeth, and then your teeth become gray. They have a grayish color to them. Like I said, with the tetracycline, that's a congenital defect from birth or an infant stage that can happen. But if you do it to yourself, it's because you whiten too much. So there's no need to over whiten your teeth. You need to go to a specific shade, and that's why in the dental office, if you get it done professionally, which is what I recommend, they can monitor you so that you do not over bleach your teeth. I mean, because if you over whiten them and your teeth become gray and that you get too much light passing through and they look translucent, you can't come back from that. They are what they are. So they're not going to get any whiter at that point in time. So the best products. So there's two systems really. One, you can go to your dentist, which is what I recommend. They can take impressions. I have a little video that I'll post also of how to make whitening trays. I recorded it, I don't know how many years ago, and it just goes through the steps of how we make these. So we take impressions, we pour the models up, we get this material that's pretty flexible, we suck it down over the teeth, and we cut it down, and we make a tray that fits your teeth. So this is what your teeth would, like if this was your teeth, these are my teeth. So you get an upper and lower tray. Normally they deliver these to you. You get anywhere from like 2 to 4 tubes of this some type of whitening gel. It depends on what the office purchases, what they give you. And then you go home, you take your syringe and you put a drop in every tooth that you're going to whiten. And when I say drop, I mean an uncooked grain of rice. The size of an uncooked grain of rice. You put in the front of the tray, put the tray on, and you leave it in anywhere from 30 minutes to overnight. So it depends on the solution that you have. Offices can have anywhere from 10%, 15%, 20%. This one I have is 22%. So this is pretty strong. This is a carbamide peroxide based whitening gel. This is what I used, and I tried to go through the whole tube before I was doing Invisalign because I wanted my teeth to be white before I went in and did it. Obviously I didn't go through the whole tube. I did like 6 or 7 days and I still had some left, and I was fine with the way my teeth looked. So that's the best system in my opinion. You pay a little bit more up front for it, but these trays could last you a lifetime, minus you don't have any major dental surgery, that the teeth shape of your teeth don't change, so then it won't alter how these trays fit your mouth. And sometimes, like if you lose a tooth or you get a crown, like if you crowned your very back tooth, they could just cut this off for you and just modify it. And then, you know, they just last. So that's that. The other over-the-counter system that I would recommend are Crest White Strips. It's about the only over-the-counter product. It is the only over-the-counter product from Crest that I recommend. But they're 30-minute white strips that you wear twice a day. You get enough for 14 days. That's the best system. So it uses a 6 or 8%, I can't remember the percentage, 6 or 8% hydrogen peroxide based solution. It's the highest dose that you can give over the counter. They work extremely well. So the instructions are to wear them twice a day for 2 weeks. I don't know one person that wears them twice a day for 2 weeks. Most people will wear them for a week, and a lot of times they wear them once a day and then they just kind of give up. That's fine. You can go at whatever rate you wanted to. If you did it twice a day for the full 2 weeks, you're going to whiten your teeth faster. If you did it once a day for a month, it's just going to take you slower. If you only went 2 days at a time, here and there, where you're just going to kind of lighten your teeth here and there a little bit. So the more diligent and consistent you are with wearing them, that just will get you to a lighter shade faster. So that's the only difference. The other product from them that they just came out with is this Crest Whitening Emulsions. This product is a pen that Feels like that. And you squeeze it, and the solution will come out the top there. And you paint it on the teeth. You kind of let it dry, like do that. Paint it on, let it dry, and then leave it on for 30 minutes. You can brush your teeth before you do that, which on a whitening tray system, you should brush your teeth, load your tray, put it in. When your time's up, take it out, brush your teeth, brush the tray out, because the gel will sit in here and get crusty. You don't want residual gel in there. So run your toothbrush inside, outside, clean these out, let them dry until you're ready to use them again. The white strips, same thing. You can brush before. I don't think they say you, they probably say you don't have to. I don't know the specific instructions. You can put them on, wear them. I would recommend brushing your teeth on whatever system you use. Put your whitening gel on, leave it on for your 30 minutes to 2 hours to 4 hours to overnight, whatever your specific instructions are. And then when you take them out, brush your teeth to get all that residual gel off. Brush your trays if you're using trays. If not, take your strip out. If not, you're going to brush your little gel off and then go about your business. So this emulsions has an ingredient in it that does not cause sensitivity. So that's what's good about this one. There's no sensitivity when you use this gel. So it's a 30-minute, you can use it twice a day. You don't need to brush it off afterwards. You don't need to brush before. I just can't stand the sticky feeling of this stuff on my teeth, so I have to brush it off when I'm done. So let's say you get a tray system from your dentist and they give you 2 tubes of whitening gel and you're still not as white as you want to be, and they feel that you could safely go lighter. They'll either give you another one or you have to buy another one. But even if you bought one of these once a year and you went through half of it, you know, and you went through the other half, like you went through half every 6 months or something like that, which a lot of people whiten their teeth after their teeth cleaning, which is really good because your teeth are super clean and polished and everything's off of your teeth at that point, so it's a good time to whiten. But these are really inexpensive. They're anywhere from like 10 to 20 bucks a tube, so it just depends on what the office charges, and you can purchase 1, 2, 3. Now, any whitening solution that you have that you're not using, do not leave it in the heat and do not leave it in sunlight. If it gets hot and it stays hot in a hot area of the house or in sunlight, this just weakens and it won't work. So it totally weakens the potency. So really it's recommended to leave this stuff in the fridge, and then when you're ready to use it, take it out, let it get to room temperature. Do not put it on your teeth cold. It'll hurt like hell. Let it get to room temperature. Load your tray or put your strip on and then do your thing. You know, if you have white strips and you only go through half of them, put the other half in the refrigerator. Just let them stay in there, especially if you're in a hot, humid climate. You know, I live in Las Vegas in the desert. It gets 115 in like July and August, so it's hot as hell. So, you know, all of our whitening gels, at every office I've worked at, they all stay in a refrigerator. So we have a refrigerator specifically for medicine purposes, and the whitening gels always stay in the refrigerator because otherwise they'll lose their potency. They can last a good year plus in the refrigerator. So that's your storage. That's your systems. Let's talk about what it doesn't work on. Whitening gels, whether you have a tray or a strip, they will not bleach or whiten a filling. They will not whiten a crown. They will not whiten a veneer. Crowns, veneers, implant crowns, bridges, partials, not all partials, but crowns, bridges, and veneers, they're all going to be made out of either porcelain or zirconia. That's what the stuff's made out of now. And when it's made and set and fired and all the stuff, the process that it goes through, that's the color that it is. It will not whiten, it will not lighten. It doesn't matter what you put on it, it stays that color. Your natural tooth will lighten, so even if you have a filling on the tooth, your tooth surrounding the filling will whiten, but the filling itself is going to stay the same. So if you had a filling on a front tooth and the filling is 15, 20 years old and it's a white filling and it's yellowed in color and taken on a ton of coffee and cigarette stain and you whiten your teeth, well, your tooth's going to be whiter than that filling. So then you're going to want to go get that filling replaced so it matches again. And some people do that. They'll whiten their teeth that they know they need fillings replaced. They'll whiten their teeth and get them nice and light, and then they'll get new fillings to match their teeth. So everything blends and looks really good. You know, those are just some things to keep in mind if you're considering whitening your teeth, if you have fillings or crowns. So if you have like 6 crowns in the front, top, and bottom and you want to whiten your teeth, well, guess what? Your crowns aren't going to whiten. They are what they are. Another thing I have to make a point about with the shade guide, If someone has blue white teeth, those are not real. They're fake. No one has natural blue white teeth. They are fake. They're porcelain, they're crowns, they're veneers. They are not real. That is not a natural tooth color to have at all. So if you want blue white teeth, well, then you're going to have to get crowns on all your teeth or veneers on the front. So that's just not something that we naturally have. We have white teeth, we have yellow teeth, we can have brown teeth, but we do not have blue white teeth. That's one thing I got to put it out there. And the other thing I don't remember if I touched on is translucency and opaqueness. Translucency will be a lot of light passing through your teeth, which makes them look gray. Opaque means the teeth have less light passing through them and they just look solid. So I have opaque teeth at the edges of my upper front teeth. So when I'm in my bathroom mirror, if I put my tongue like that on the back of my front teeth, it can change color. It'll go from like grayer, more see-through, to kind of more solid, but it can almost have a pinkish hue from my tongue being on the back of it. If your teeth are very translucent, you will not have this solid white looking tooth, and you're not going to more than likely be super white teeth because you're going to have a lot of light passing through your teeth. So you'll get a light colored tooth, but you're not going to get like white solid like my plant pots behind me, which my poor plants need watered, which they will get today. You're not going to have that solid white color. So that's one thing you have to keep in mind also with translucency and opaqueness. And if you're going to have any dental work done on your front teeth, I would strongly recommend go outside to pick your shade. Go outside and make sure it matches. Natural light gives you the best light and gives you the best color of your teeth versus in a dental office, in a bathroom, in a hallway, in a living room, in a dining room. All the lighting's different because it could be coming straight down this way. It could come straight at your face this way. The lighting could be come from one side or the other. You know, lighting and shadows cast constantly on our mouth. So our teeth color will change in whatever lighting is surrounding us. That's going to play a part in how opaque and how translucent your teeth are and what the color they are in different lighting. So that's one thing you have to keep in mind also. Everybody's different. Everybody has their own unique teeth. And when we are little babies and we have all of our little primary teeth, our baby teeth, they are like beautiful white teeth. They're almost like perfect and pristine. When we start losing our baby teeth and getting our permanent teeth in and our adult teeth start coming in, we have now what's called a mixed dentition. When you have that mixed dentition from the time you're like 6 years old until the time you're sometimes 14, 15 years old, your teeth are going to have contrast. So there's been a lot of parents over my years that like my kids' teeth are dingy, they're yucky, they're ugly, like what can we do about it? Well, you're not going to want to whiten any kid's teeth until they're about 18, 19 years old. Because when they're in that mixed dentition, the baby teeth are so white and so pretty, the permanent teeth that come in are going to look darker and yellower. And then on top of that, if the teenager's a bad brusher, you know, and kids aren't perfect, we know that. I mean, neither are adults, but kids aren't the greatest brusher. They don't have the best dexterity, so they can have more plaque on their teeth, so that can make them look yellower too. Once all of the adult teeth are in and all of the baby teeth are gone, then you're going to have more of an idea of what the adult teeth will look like in color, but they also take a little bit time to mature, in my opinion. Like 16-year-old, I just think their tooth color looks a little bit different than when they're 18. So you just give them a little bit of time to mature because they're just virgin teeth. Like they're gorgeous, they're new, they're freshly erupted. Like just let them be for a little while. And once a kid turns 18, 19 years old and they want to whiten their teeth, well then just do some white strips first. I would totally start there and see how well they do and see if they are happy with their teeth. That's your easiest, safest way to start, and cheapest also. So I think I touched on this a few times of how often you should whiten your teeth. It depends on your habits. If you're a heavy smoker and you drink 3 pots of coffee a day and red wine every weekend or a glass of red wine every night, you're going to have more external stain on your teeth, which is going to create more internal stain on your teeth, so your teeth will look darker. You're going to be that person that if you wanted to whiten your teeth, you would probably whiten them every 6 months. Because you're just naturally going to have darker teeth because you have a lot of habits that have staining properties that go along with them. You know, while you're whitening too, the one main thing to remember is if you're a coffee drinker in the morning, you're going to want to, and you, let's say you wear your trays overnight, you wake up in the morning, I would not drink a cup of coffee first thing in the morning. I would wait a couple hours or drink it through a straw, because the pores on your teeth are wide open, and if you drink that coffee and it hits your front teeth first, well, they're just going to absorb that stain, and everything that just happened overnight, you're going to kind of reverse it. So it's going to take you a lot longer to whiten your teeth versus someone who can just give up the coffee for a week or 4 days, however long you bleach, and then pick it back up when they're done whitening their teeth, or just have their coffee later in the day, or whiten their teeth in the evening, and then overnight they have the time for the pores to kind of close up some before they have that morning cup of coffee. Pipe smokers will have a lot more black stain. Smokers, cigarettes, marijuana, vaping, those all can cause staining on the teeth, and you will have darker teeth over time. You could, if you know, it just depends on the shade of your teeth, how easily they whiten, and your daily habits of how often you have to whiten your teeth. So like I said already, I whiten mine once every year, and it's usually, I do it a solid week, probably once every 2 years. So once a year is probably like 2 nights I do it, and I'm like, I'm done. Just me. I'm kind of vanilla with my habits. Like I said, I don't smoke, I don't drink red wine, I have one cup of coffee a day, so it's not like I have a lot of teeth staining habits. But my other big, major recommendation and caution at the same time, I would not go to the middle of the mall and get your teeth whitened. I would not go to an esthetician. I would not go to a beautician. I wouldn't go to anybody but your dental professional. And here's why. My opinion, this is my opinion. They don't have the dental experience that your dentist does. They don't know if you have cavities in your mouth. They don't know if you have active gum disease, gingivitis, periodontal disease. They have no idea what's going on in your mouth. If you were to whiten your teeth and you had a ton of decay, it is going to hurt like hell, and it's not going to do anything. If you have active periodontal disease, well, like I said before, if your teeth are going to fall out of your head, who gives a shit how white they are, because they're super unhealthy. You probably have bad breath, you have a lot of bleeding, you have a lot of infection. And remember, the infection in your mouth is about the size of the palm of your hand. So if you have a huge infection like that, don't you think you'd want the infection under control first before you care about having white teeth? I don't know what's in the ingredients. I don't know what they use in the middle of the mall. I don't trust those people. I would never go to them. I would go to my dental professional. I would ask them, do you think it's okay and safe for me to whiten my teeth? Do I have any cavities? Do I have any contraindications to me whitening my teeth? Are there any risks involved? And more than likely, if you're healthy, your gums are stable, you don't have gingivitis, periodontitis, you don't have any active decay, they're going to tell you, yeah, go for it. You can do one of two things. Go get some white strips, or we can do tray systems here in the office. I also do some offices, which I failed to tell you guys earlier, the in-office whitening system, which, remember, we were talking about percentages. That percentage of whitening gel that they'll use is about a 30% whitening gel. And you sit in that chair with your cheeks retracted, laid up, and they're applying 4 different 15-minute intervals of the 30% whitening gel on your teeth to get them to lighten multiple shades in 1 hour. That creates a ton of sensitivity. I've never done it, and I will never do it. I'd rather take my good old sweet time at home and make it inconvenience at home than sit in that chair and deal with the sensitivity that it comes with it. Some people would rather sit in the chair. That's your choice. That's your prerogative. You know you best, not me. Some people don't want to do it at home. They won't take the time, or they don't have the discipline to do it, and that's okay. You can do it in the office. You're just going to have hella zingers on your teeth, and I would say same thing. Start with some sensitivity paste. Take some pain medication before you go in there, meaning ibuprofen or Tylenol before you go in, to kind of help with the little zingers that are going to happen on the teeth from the sensitivity. They'll lay you back, put some cheek retractors in, put some protection on your gum tissue, and they'll start applying the first layer of whitening gel. After 15 minutes, they suck it off and put another one on. Same thing, 3 more times. And sometimes you do 1 session, sometimes you do 2, sometimes you do 1 session, they take you home with trays, and you finish up getting to your lightest shade with your tray system at home that you'll have forever then, and once you come up all the way, you're good. But the other main thing is there used to be the blue light shined on the teeth to activate the whitening gel in order for it to work to start penetrating the tooth and whiten the tooth. All of these blue light systems that I see, that you put this on your teeth and your teeth are going to be whiter, that doesn't do shit for your teeth. It doesn't make them whiter. Neither does charcoal toothpaste. The thing with the blue light is it used to activate the whitening solution until they found that you no longer need the blue light to activate the solution. The solution activates itself. It sits on the tooth and it starts working right away. That's what it does. So there's no more blue light needed. So if you bought a blue light and you put this blue light in your mouth and the company tells you it's going to whiten your teeth, the blue light will whiten them, it's bullshit. It's not going to do it. No blue light whitens the teeth. I've never seen it happen in 21 years of doing this. That's the other thing with the charcoal toothpaste. Charcoal toothpaste is very abrasive on the teeth. And my opinion of that is most people want white teeth and they will do anything they can to have white teeth. But during your day-to-day life, you can have really nice, whiter teeth, clean, healthy teeth, if you brushed for 2 minutes twice a day and used your water pick once a day and had really healthy gums and kept all the plaque and bacteria off of your damn teeth. If you don't do that, which a lot of people that I've seen that use charcoal toothpaste, they don't like brushing their teeth twice a day for 2 minutes each time, and they don't like flossing or using a water pick. So instead of them spending 5 minutes a day all the time, I'm going to buy this charcoal toothpaste. I'm going to brush my teeth for 5 minutes with this charcoal toothpaste. Then I'm going to let it sit on my teeth. And then I'm going to rinse it off and oh my God, my teeth are so much whiter. Well, let me tell you something. If you brush your teeth once every other day or once a day for 10 to 30 seconds, you're going to have a ton of plaque accumulation on your teeth. You get the same result if you came to your dentist and we cleaned your teeth and you're like, oh, you leave and you go, ooh, they're so much whiter. Exactly, because we cleaned all of that soft, sticky yellow plaque off your teeth. When you brush with charcoal toothpaste, that again is super abrasive, and you brush for 5 minutes every time you use it, that's how long you are to spend every day at 2 different intervals brushing your teeth. 2 minutes in the morning, 2 minutes at night, and at some point water pick or floss. So you spend the full 5 minutes with this charcoal paste because the charcoal paste is going to make your teeth look white, but you remove all of the soft yellow plaque off your teeth. All of it. That we can get off, that you can get off at home. So then your teeth appear whiter. Yeah, because you removed all the yellow sticky plaque. So it's not like I'm against charcoal paste because it sounds like that, and I kind of am. I just don't think they're worth the hype. Because if you could use a regular cavity protection toothpaste, and again, I'm going to repeat this 1,000 times. Brush for 2 minutes at 2 different times out of the day. Morning and night. 2 minutes in the morning, 2 minutes at night. That's 4 minutes. And then at some point, floss or use your water pick. There's 1 more minute of your life. So it's 5 minutes a day. That consistent habit creates cleaner teeth. Cleaner teeth look whiter. Period, end of story. Because you don't have plaque sitting on them that's soft and yellow and sticky and can be brushed off. Those are just all things to keep in mind. So no, it boils down to the basic habits and the consistency of the basic habits. If there's something I missed, please feel free to ask the questions in the comments below. I will set a link for Sensodyne paste and the Toms of Maine Rapid Relief that I recommend. I'll find a link for this Crest Emulsions. I'll throw that in there also. And the Crest White Strips that I would recommend. But please, I encourage you, professionally go to your dentist. Have a conversation, and as long as they tell you you're good, go do it. I would not trust anybody else because there's no other profession that can look at your teeth, that can x-ray your teeth and tell you, oh yeah, like there's no way my esthetician would look at my teeth and go, oh Rita, you have a cavity up here. They don't know what, they don't know. They don't know. That's not what they're educated on at all. So yeah, they can do whitening, but if you're not educated on everything and you don't know the state of health that someone's mouth is in, you're taking a gamble. And like I said, it might be cheaper, but you could spend more money in the long run if you do some type of damage from either the product not working for you, or you don't want to whiten a tooth with a raw open cavity on it for sure. I think we covered it all, folks. So again, I could not thank you enough for being here. I really appreciate all of the support. I really appreciate all the subscribing. I really appreciate all the positive feedback. I mean, it warms my heart so much to know that I'm helping people out there, because my job, to me, and I'm getting emotional, is If I can help you understand what you're doing and how to take better care of you, then I've done my job. And that's what means the most to me, is that you guys can learn something that you didn't know before, because either no one told you, no one took the time to teach you. You know, the internet's not going to have all the answers either, because it's just kind of generic answers. Neither is TikTok. So no, I really do appreciate it. You know, I've done this for a long time, and this has always been a passion of mine. Just, I love to teach people, to help them, and they get like the aha moments, and it's like, oh my God, my mouth feels better, I feel better, this is going better, please tell me things are good today. You know, that I thrive off of that. I thrive on cheering people on to help them help themselves, you know. And when you're motivated and you want to do it for yourself, like, that's the best thing ever, because no one can do it for you. You have to be willing and wanting to change and make yourself healthier. And I am just your guiding light and your cheerleader in the background to kind of help you find your way and do the absolute best that you can. Thank you guys so much for being here. I hope this video was super helpful for you, and I will see you guys again very soon.